all made up.
Strangely, depictions of a winged serpent god can be found all around the ancient world. In India, the epic text, the Mahabharata, details the ancient account of sky beings, known as Nagas. Dating as far back as 2500 BC, the half-human and half-serpent entities look nearly identical to the Mayan Kukulkan. And ancient Chinese mythology from the 5th millennium BC describe flying dragons that are eerily similar to the serpent god depicted in Mesoamerica.
To the peoples that preceded the Inca in Peru, similar ideas were put upon characters like Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, who was this wisdom bringer, sometimes said to have come down from the sky world, and once again bringing the rudiments of civilization to the peoples of Central America.
There is a common thread among many ancient cultures of the Americas when it comes to plumed serpent god. The Cherokee, for example, believe that time, their calendar, is based upon a rattlesnake that they can see in the night sky, perhaps a constellation. So the idea of a serpent or a snake or a dragon is common among many ancient cultures, and not just the Maya or the Mesoamericans.
The snake is the giver of wisdom.
The Hebrew Bible. In it, the book of Genesis describes how God created the first two humans, Adam and Eve, in the Garden of Eden, and told them to go forth and multiply. For centuries, scientists and theologians have debated whether this story of the creation of man was mere myth or historical fact.
The Torah mentions that humanity is made out of the dust of the earth, and that God breathed life into this to make us animated. Here is the breath of soul, the breath of vitality, the divine breath, which suggests that the spark, the life force that makes a human body tick, is divine in its nature.
In 1987, scholarly disagreements over the origin of man intensified, with the discovery that the genetic lineage of every living person could be traced back to a single woman who once lived in Africa.
It's pretty well established by now, particularly from the the DNA record, that Homo sapiens did originate at one place in Africa, and after having become fully modern in the sense of intellectually modern, spread out to occupy Europe, to occupy Eastern Asia, and the old world in general.
It's sometimes called the Eve model.
FOXP2 is a gene that was found in our nucleotides, and it is something that sets us completely apart from any other animal. And scientists have suggested that that gene alone is responsible for language. And there is absolutely no evidence of origin, or that this thing somehow mutated from the animal kingdom towards us.
Here's something to think about. The mitochondrial DNA testing results from the Ancient Aliens show showed a haplogroup coming from Europe and the Middle East. Why is this startling? Why is this important? Because this is a completely different lab, different anthropologist, not part of our team, and he came up with the same results that we show in Watchers 10 and my book, Nephilim Hybrids, showing a European haplogroup and a Middle Eastern haplogroup. This shouldn't be there. This rewrites history as we know it. What it points back to is the veracity of our hypotheses that when Joshua and Caleb went into the Promised Land 3,500 years ago, Nephilim tribes were there.